Welcome, everyone. Back again with part two.
Democrats try to call Republican Nazis, we're not the Jew-hating socialists. Last I recalled, Hitler was a Jew-hating socialist. Hitler worked with Muslims. Hitler literally worked with the Grand Mufti of Palestine. And the communist Russians also worked with Yasser Arafat to develop the Palestinian identity. How is it that Muslims are always tied to communists and always trying to destroy some shit and start some fucking wars? When are you gonna realize that Israel's not your fucking enemy? Maybe the communists and the Muslims are your enemy.
Amen on that. Totally. It's the Red Green Alliance, basically.
This is weak immigration, and people in this country forget that just 2 years ago, for all the hemming and hawing, for all of the hand wringing, for all of the sometimes justifiable criticisms of the Trump administration, this was America 2 years ago. Put those images back up on the screen. Put the images from the Spanish invasion back on the screen. And by the way, this certainly looks like a bunch of women and children just looking for a better life, doesn't it, Blake? No, actually, when you zoom up on it, these are all military-age males that are streaming across these fences into Ceuta, okay? 2 years ago, this was America. This was the southern border in the United States of America. This is why we elected President Trump for mass deportations, to seal off the border, which he's done, and to get these people out of our country. Because no developed country, let's just say that, should have to put up with an invasion like this of third worlders streaming across its borders. And how easy we forget. And you look at the polling, you look at the headwinds. Okay, you're upset about Epstein files, you're upset about Iran, so am I. But we cannot allow this to be our future. We cannot allow the past to be the future. And this is another reason, and I'm going to keep harping on this, because yesterday I finally called on X for Leader Thune to be removed as leader of the Senate GOP and leader of the Senate, because we need to get the Save America Act passed, because what you are seeing in those images in Spain, that was America. These people are here. They are getting driver's licenses. They are getting CDLs. They are flooding your DMVs in your schools, in your hospitals. And many of them are registered to vote. In just 4 states, we know that over 250,000 illegals are on the voter rolls. That's unacceptable. There shouldn't be one. I don't care how many are even voting. They should not be on our voter rolls, and they should not be counted in our census. So Spain is a warning of Christmas past and Christmas future if we lose power. We have to get this done. And I would love to see either Senator Rick Scott from Florida or Mike Lee take over as Senate leader. People that have proven that they are willing to do the hard things. People that are willing to take hard stands and work with urgency. We are about to see the Senate take 6 weeks off. It's not even a month. 6 weeks off. And I want to point something out. Blake, you make this point brilliantly all the time. According to the Partnership for Public Service and the Washington Post tracker, more than 100 Trump nominees are still sitting in the Senate right now, with about 108 awaiting action. All told, there is approximately 800 top roles that they track out of 1,300 that require confirmation. The 800, only 360 have been confirmed, and we are well into year 2 of Trump 2.0. What are we doing here?
And they've deliberately, the way they're recessing is not allowing him to do any appointments during the recess like normally you'd be able to do. So he could namely appoint a lot of these people if they're in recess, and they're doing it in a way that so Trump can't do it. They're coming back within 3 days, someone to gavel in and gavel out the Senate. They're deliberately doing this, and then they think if the Democrats can take back over, then they'll some of these Republicans are working with them to allow it to keep a lot of these appointees from coming through, because a lot of them have to do with this illegal immigration. That's why. Boat after boat. 24 hours a day they were coming in. They were. Who's working with them? Who's working with them? Who's providing the boats and all that kind of stuff, organizing it and all that kind of stuff? You know, you got to think it's a globalist for sure.
Rocío. Es que estoy temblando, es que de verdad esto es para vivirlo. Esto es para vivirlo como mujer, esto es para vivirlo. Esto es una invasión, han empezado por Ceuta, pero esto es la frontera a España, la frontera a Europa. Hoy ha sido Melilla, mañana será Canarias, pasado.
She's afraid, you see, she's surrounded by all these illegals. All the ones behind her?
No será Tarifa. De verdad, es que no hay derecho.
I don't understand her, but she's afraid. She's acting very afraid.
Call me nostalgic and old-fashioned, but I just really miss the good old years of, well, a few months ago, when President Trump would walk out to Marine One with Elon Musk's little boy, little X.
I don't know why it's not.
And Elon was never quite sure what Trump was going to do. $260 million to get Trump.
It don't seem to be working. I'll have to come back to it or something. I don't know why that one's not working. It was working.
Ils sont où ces putains d'envahisseurs qui forcent la frontière à Ceuta?
This is one of the ones they made up. They're speaking Spanish, but
les retrouver partout en Europe. Et ils sont où les femmes et les gosses? Ça suffit ce bordel. Et puis t'as cet abruti de Pedro Sanchez qui a voulu en régulariser 500 000 et il y a eu plus d'1 million de demandes. Ces putains d'immigrationnistes débiles commencent à me casser les couilles. Hé Pépé, tu vas où petit? T'as cru qu'on allait te préparer un couscous à l'arrivée? T'as cru qu'on allait vous laisser venir chez nous pour faire une grande ronde et se prendre tous par la main? L'Europe, ça devient un putain de trou à merde. Faut arrêter les conneries. C'est plus de l'immigration, c'est de l'invasion. On sent même plus chez nous tellement ils sont nombreux. Ça va chier. Y a plus une seule grande ville où les femmes peuvent se balader tranquillement le soir sans se faire emmerder. À ce rythme-là, on sera remplacé par des putains de bédouins qui les forceront à rester à la maison, voilés comme des fantômes. C'est ça l'avenir? Des décérébrés du désert qui viennent piller les aides sociales et qu'on va accueillir comme s'ils avaient vécu l'horreur et la guerre, tout en se filmant en 4K avec leur smartphone flambant neuf. Il y en a plein le cul de voir que ce que nos ancêtres avaient conquis et bâti est en train de tomber en ruine à cause de tocards débiles. Faut pas rêver. La guerre, c'est pour bientôt, et pas à l'autre bout du monde.
Yep.
What do you guys think they're coming for? Do you think they're going to start businesses? They want to build a family life. They just want to
for free stuff, and to get all their families there.
meet a nice Spanish girl and get married and teach their kids values of the country. I feel like that's probably what they're here for, right? You think any of them have any criminal records? Probably not. Of course
Look, almost 90% of them.
not. Of course not. That'd be so silly and racist to say. I would be totally fine with my sister or a daughter or myself being amongst all those men. I'd feel totally safe. Yeah.
Suspect a little sarcasm there?
If you don't feel safe around them, if you don't want to live next to them, you're actually super racist and bigoted. And your opinion doesn't matter. So that's just the way it works. Oh, and if you completely disagree with this, you have hate in your heart, and I have no tolerance for your hatred. So I'm going to cut you off forever. And they're all Spanish. Oh, yeah, that's right. They deserve Spanish taxpayer-funded everything.
I don't think they're Spanish.
Everything, accommodation, food. Let's pay for all of it. And then let's pay for them to have a bunch of kids and only hang out with themselves while they partake in crime. I think that sounds like a good idea. And they're super Spanish. That wasn't a Spanish accent, but whatever. Anyway, no disagreeing with me.
She was trying to do it with a straight face. This doesn't have any sound, but it's a video of them coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in, coming in. The numbers they're telling was all bullshit. Although some they've been sent back and gotten back a little bit, but nothing like they would. Now they're starting to disperse all over Europe, mostly up into Spain. Now they're trying to prevent them from going from there out, but we'll see if that works. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. There's some sound. Where's the rest of their families? They're all over all the banks back there. I think they're full of crap on the numbers. That's just a little snapshot of what was going on 24 hours a day for two days. Solid. This Prime Minister of Spain.
So the amnesty, it makes sense now, right? Yes, absolutely. It's a positive step. I knew you'd see it that way. It's good to be on the same page. Exactly.
That's a left-wing podcaster. Really left-wing. Crazy one.
Right now, as you're watching this video, thousands of immigrants are pouring into our borders. Now, as you're watching this video, thousands of immigrants are pouring into our borders. Those were the words that we used kicking off the Save Europe campaign to make it clear to everyone what the absolute urgency of the matter here in Europe is. And that reality has once again become extremely visible. Right now, in Ceuta, there is an invasion going on, an orchestrated invasion. Because make no mistake, Pedro Sanchez wants this. The European Union wants this. If they did not, they would do everything in their
They got to give it lip service as if they don't.
power to stop this from happening. But instead, what do? They will welcome these people in, these young military-aged fighting men in, because this is their policy. Pedro Sanchez, out of all people, is the one who does it most out in the open. He is legalizing 3 million illegals as we speak. Do you really think that he minds a few more? No, he doesn't. It is exactly what he wants. But now it is really important, our Spanish friends, that you do not despair, because despair won't lead anywhere good. What you need now is to get angry and to challenge this energy and put it to something useful, because there is a solution to this. It's called remigration, and we are demanding it with the Save Europe Act. So Spain,
send them back.
You need the Save Europe Act more than ever. Spain should top the charts right now and be the #1 country signing the Save Europe Act. We have our activists on the ground that are spreading the word about Save Europe Act, but you need to do the same thing too. Because for Spain, the situation is critical right now. So everyone in Spain, all the people who are watching this right now, share the Save Europe Act and channel your energy. Show Pedro Sanchez who is boss.
Amen. Amen. They need to save Europe. They help save America too by doing that. This is the Prime Minister of Spain. I heart invaders, it says on his shirt. You see it? I heart invaders.
What are you
Some more
doing?
from him.
Nothing.
That's him again.
Me? Just hanging around.
Yeah, just hanging around. Oh, I wanted to play this later. See this lady here that's waving them all in? It turns out she's turned up missing. Her phone's been turned off. Someone tried to hack it. So they obviously stole her phone. She's probably dead or been kidnapped and raped. That woman right there, see her waving them in? It's ridiculous. So now she's missing. And her phone is turned off, and someone tried to hack it.
Lanza el bacon drone.
Here comes the bacon. Oh, they need that. They need that.
So what you're seeing up here, this row of people, it looks like it's something out of a movie, but this is not AI. I'm going to show you a different clip of what's happening right now. This is currently happening in Spain, and it's all happening in real time. This is what an invasion looks like without a single bullet being fired. And you'll notice something about everyone here who's crossing the border. And I can tell you that these individuals are not women and children. And I doubt they are doctors, lawyers, and scientists. This is what mass migration looks like. And this is all done by design. There is an endless amount of people going into that country as we speak. And you're probably wondering why I'm covering something related to Spain. Well, what's happening there is no different than what happened to Canada under the Liberal Party, where they allowed millions of temporary workers to come into our country. And now we have a total of over 10% of our population, nearly 5 million people whose visas are expiring this year, and the government refuses to address the problem. Remember, we now have recessionary levels of youth unemployment. The CNE just said that they received 50,000 applications, 50,000 to fill 700 job vacancies for a summer job. We are under recessionary pressures. In Canada, specifically,
Oh, but they keep claiming they need all these foreign workers. They're lying.
the Liberal Party, they have a very easy decision to make, which they refuse to address, and it's something that we all need to make sure we hold them accountable for.
Amen on that.
Hey, Sneeko, since you hate America so much, I thought I'd treat you to a one-way ticket the fuck out of here.
I'm not sure who this guy is. I know he's an American hater or something. He's definitely an American hater. I think I've seen his face before. I don't know.
Just last week, the owner of X, a migrant himself, used his personal account to amplify disinformation about the sovereign decision by my government.
Disinformation? He was telling the truth. That's the problem for you.
The regularization of 500,000 migrants.
Hey, John!
That live, work, and contribute to the success of our country. The same platform that has allowed its AI grok to generate illegal sexual content. Meanwhile, Instagram has been accused of spying on millions of Android users around the world. Facebook has been used to deploy hundreds of misinformation.
He wants to shut them up so we don't get the information we should get, the truth.
Information and foreign interference campaigns during national and regional elections.
Yep, he's just trying to shut us up.
Today we watched the collapse of Spain's southern border as thousands of Moroccan men forced their way into this small Spanish enclave of Ceuta in just a single day. They climbed over the fences, swam around the barriers, and flooded the streets.
Now, this has been happening for several days now. They have gotten some back. They put some barriers out there now, out in the waterways. Now, they've had up to about 50 of them die trying to come in.
Local authorities immediately declared a humanitarian and security emergency. The president of Ceuta formally requested that Madrid declare a national emergency and deploy the army in full force. But Prime Minister Sanchez refused to declare a national emergency and deployed a very minimal military force and continue to speak in the same evasive language that he's used for months. The composition of this movement needs to be stated very clearly. The overwhelming
They just have to give it lip service. They really want him to come in.
majority of those who crossed are military-aged men. These are young, physically capable men of fighting age, and there are virtually no women, no children, and no elderly. This is not a spontaneous flight of families seeking safety. It's a selective demographic surge of the strongest, most mobile segment of the population. This is an eerily similar pattern to what the United States saw in 2021 under Joe Biden, specifically when thousands of Haitian migrants, predominantly young men, swarmed across the Rio Grande and created a massive encampment under the International Bridge. In both cases, a left-leaning government created the conditions, the demographic skew was unmistakable, and the political class refused to call it what it was. The timing in Spain is also not accidental. Sanchez's socialist government just completed a mass amnesty that gave legal status and work authorization to hundreds of thousands of people already living in Spain illegally. More than 1 million have applied, and approximately 600,000 have already received temporary papers. That policy sent a clear and powerful signal across the Mediterranean. If you were successful in crossing
Hey, Colin, how's the invasion in England going?
into Spain illegally and remain there for a short period of time, the Spanish government will regularize you. The response was immediate and predictable. The next wave already hit the fence full force. Some of the men who entered Ceuta have already spoken to Spanish television. One stated he was fleeing murder suspicions in his home country. Another admitted that he left the Netherlands specifically to avoid serving a multi-year prison sentence. These are not theoretical concerns. Self-admitted criminals are now inside Spanish territory, and the government continues to describe the entire process as an expression of solidarity and progress. This outcome is the direct and foreseeable product of these socialist and open border policies. Mass amnesty functions as a magnet. Weak border enforcement functions as an invitation. The result is a sudden influx of military
Socialist needs a lot of people that are dependents to vote for him. That's what they want.
aged foreign men, including individuals with criminal histories, while the Spanish government refuses to recognize the breach as a national security crisis. Spain is becoming a real-world test of these types of policies, and the rest of Europe, and quite frankly, the entirety of the West, is not far behind.
Yeah, here's a little review. We had the same thing with Biden, which they were trying to take everyone's pages down if you said anything or reported on it. Here's a recap of that. But what we would be having if Kamala Harris was in power. In fact, it probably might even be worse than this. Does everyone remember this? Couldn't even process them fast enough. That's in Texas. Hey, Tammy. So there's sound on parts of this. It's just not playing right now. Does everyone remember this in Texas?
Nós temos fome, temos fome.
Yeah, Tammy, I'm okay with that. I doubt there's so much Christian, though. Wasn't it Mayorkas or whatever that was saying, no, secure border, and the borders are Kamala Harris? I agree, Tammy. So you know exactly where that is, John?
10,503 illegal aliens. A mass of humanity that has crossed and is waiting to come into America. The reason they're here is simple.
And they let every single one in.
Gracias. 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 Agradecido con el país.
Soy periodista, ¿no?
Ok.
Do you see Trump's building the wall inside the wall now to make it even harder because they've tried to torch through some of them and found ways to try to get past one. He's making it really hard now for him to get in some of the areas that would normally be easier to get in. Biden didn't turn one back, not one. In fact, he was scheduling flights, chartered planes, bringing them in as fast as he could. Sleepy Joe. I know that it's got to be a plan where they're organized with the NGOs and bringing them in. That was Eagle Pass, Texas. That one was. I wonder how many have gone back and been arrested and sent back. I wonder. And the left is having a cow.
Every person who was just let through.
The left is having a cow whenever we send any of them back.
Who is appears to be a single adult male. ¿De dónde son?
Ghana.
Ghana. You're from Ghana. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Haiti.
You're from Haiti. You're from
There's a lot of
where? Haiti. Haiti. Why did you decide to come here?
Brazil.
Pardon?
Brazil.
Brazil. You're from Brazil. Got it. Okay, so it sounds like we got a mix of Haitians, somebody from Ghana.
They were getting freebies when they got here. They got in the welfare system. Maybe under more than one name.
Ghana, saying they want to live here in the United States. Some speak English, some speak Spanish. So apologies, guys, just trying to figure it out as we go here. But yeah, you can see that this is a group of what, I don't know, about 15 or so men who were just let through. We got some more being let through right now. And the thing is, everybody has a different story when they come through. You think everybody's kind of from the same country, the same block, same situation, and that's not always the case.
And they had no IDs. I bet you a lot of them are voting too. That's their game plan. Now they want amnesty for all that. There's a few Republicans willing to do that as well. So if they take over Congress, they're going to push the amnesty, especially if they impeach Trump and get him out. I kind of worry about J.D. Vance letting them be citizens. I don't know. It scares me on that. Golf course, huh? Near a golf course? Yeah, have you been to that one, John?
What's happening in Spain right now is unprecedented in the history of the West. Thousands and thousands of unvetted fighting age men being allowed to pour in over the border. And despite the fact that you don't see this happening in such an implicit manner in Canada, it is the exact same thing that's occurring. Look at the footage out of what's happening in Spain as tens of thousands of military age men pour into the country with absolutely low enforcement, no law enforcement, nothing stopping them.
No, they have put up some water barrier things like barrels out there a ways so they can't get close to the shore as much. 50 people have drowned or died trying to get in since then, and they have taken some have decided to go back because they can't get free money, so they're going to go back. But not in the numbers that are coming, though. Oh, okay. Okay, John. All these ones flooding into Spain, they're going to go
Spain,
throughout
of course, famously, Sanchez, their president, is essentially the exact opposite of Donald Trump, is essentially cheering this on, saying that they don't have the law enforcement officials to come over and stop this. Tens of thousands of men pouring in, and this comes out.
And pretty much every single one of them coming in there to Europe are Muslim, Islam. And a lot of them have criminal records.
On the heel of Morocco on their King's Day, allowing 3,000 criminals off the hook. If you look at what's going on in Spain, people who are being interviewed on the streets are saying that they face serious prison sentences. They were just allowed out of prison. They're being allowed to pour into the country as the Spanish president says that they do not have the means to stop them. Now, this is the most visceral, visual example, as you will see, of what's happening in the West. Despite the fact that because of where we are geographically located, you don't get as radical a visual, the exact same thing is happening in Canada, with millions of people pouring into the country against the will of the Canadian people, the Canadian government cheering it on. We have 577,000 people in the country without permits right now. Another 2.1 million permit holders who the government is going to do nothing to remove. And don't let Carney gaslight you and lie to you about the fact that the numbers are going down. No, they're allowing another 750,000 people into the country in the next 18 months. This is unprecedented in Western history. This is an invasion. This is against the will of the people. This carte blanche idea that everybody, regardless of where you're from in the world, is the exact same is an absolute joke. It is ridiculous. We are literally throwing our civilizations away due to these far left, suicidally empathetic, if you're being generous. In a lot of cases, I think they are simply anti-Western communists who allow millions to pour into our countries without the stamp of the Canadian people. What is happening in Spain right now is the most recent and extremely visual example of what is happening in the West unless we stand up and say no. That's why I founded the Fight for Canada movement, calling for 3 basic, logical, common sense policies to be implemented in Canada that I believe 90% of the population agree with. First, a total moratorium on immigration for the next 5 years at least. The system is completely out of control. Stop all immigration for the next 5 years. Shut down both the temporary foreign worker as
I think you need it for at least 10 years.
Well as immigration mobility program, number 2. These programs have a combined over 3.5 million people. I mean, the government of Canada is literally paying people to hire non-Canadians, new arrivals, when we have over a 14% unemployment rate among the youth, 7% unemployment rate overall, and 2.2 million Canadians using food banks.
Oh, but they need workers, right?
This is anti-Canadian garbage, these programs, and both of them should be shut down. And finally, removing the people who are here illegally, the expired visa permit holders. The Canadian government is intentionally not removing these people, not doing their job. They're focused on policing the internet for so-called hate speech. If you dare point out the fact that it is the definition of insanity to inviting millions of people into the country when you have a 14.3% youth unemployment rate, 7% unemployment rate overall, are in a recession, 2 straight quarters of negative GDP growth, have 2.2 million Canadians using food banks a month, not a year, a month, have housing prices double in the past decade, inflation, the highest in the entirety of the G7, average waiting times in an ER up 200% over the past decade alone by every measurable economic.
It's because all the illegals are using their healthcare system, the free stuff, right?
Metric, to say nothing of the cultural impact. We all know what I'm talking about when I say our streets have radically transformed. To continue to allow people into this country when we have this many domestic issues is nothing less than a betrayal of the Canadian people. Our ancestors, the British, the Irish, the Scottish, the French, fought and died in many cases defending.
Bingo, John. They're trying to erase white Christians. They hate Christians really bad because of family values. Socialists do not want the family unit. and Christians tend to have a family unit. They have morals too.
This land, the settlers who came over here built this civilization.
Hey, TZ.
Out of essentially nothing, and now it is being thrown away by a bunch of globalist WF Davos puppets who refuse to answer even basic questions about removing the 2.1 million expired visa permit holders in this country. I actually think that the government of Canada is lying about the extremely high numbers, and they are even higher that they claim. They claim they are reducing the numbers. That could not be further from the truth. Mark Carney wants to allow another 750,000 people into the country in the next 16 months alone. And that's what he claims is a reduction. This immigration spike we have seen in the past 5 years is literally unprecedented in Western history. Now, over 26.5% of the country is a first-generation immigrant. It is literally replacement of the Canadian people. I don't see how people can look at a demographic chart and say anything else. What's happening in Spain right now, it's just an incredibly visceral showing of
TZ, he's one of the globalists.
What is happening without the imagery in Canada. We need to share these images far and wide because they lay bare the face.
TZ, I hope that's not costing you any money. I see some number pop up on my thing. I've never gotten any money out of this, but I guess you can or something. Thank you, by the way.
Of far leftism that does not believe in sovereignty, that does not believe in border enforcement. Mark Carney just met with the Open Societies Foundation. These people literally do not believe in borders. It's not an exaggeration. It's what these people believe. And you look at what's happening in Spain. Sanchez is intentionally not sending any law enforcement out there because he says they don't have the means to. It's a lie. Of course they have the means to. Of course Canada has the means to enforce its border. We sent $26.5 billion to the Ukraine. We spent $11 billion on gender studies overseas. Of course we could enforce our border. Of course we could remove the people here illegally. It is a political decision, and the far left has made the...
We need to wipe them out in the midterms this year.
Calculation, it is more politically beneficial for them to invite millions of people into the country who vote overwhelmingly for the left-wing parties. It is a political decision being made by Mark Carney, by Sanchez, by Macron, by Starmer, by Burnham, by every single far left. You look at the difference it's made in the United States having Trump. You look at what Italy has done with Meloni. They're
starting to lose elections, though.
Is a political decision that's being made. The Canadian people are fed up. They've had enough. Close the goddamn border. If we live in a democracy, Canadians overwhelmingly want the border closed. Enough immigration, enough shut down these crazy programs that literally incentivize businesses to hire new arrivals when we have a 14.3% unemployment rate. It is our elite political
don't need
class
to do that,
literally
TZ.
working against the best interest.
I certainly don't do this for money or anything, but
the Canadian people. We see visceral images of Spain. That is the far left worldview. This is.
If I did have enough money, I'd probably maybe pay for X to be get the blue check mark, then I could stream to there. I used to be able to stream on X or that, but they took that away when you don't pay for the X.
It's unprecedented in human history. Of course you protect your border. Of course you have a culture in your country. Of course there are a set of beliefs laid out in our...
Yeah, there's a lot of drugs coming in from Vancouver too. The drugs come in from China.
Charter of Rights and Freedoms that make you a Canadian, and not every area of the world has the same beliefs. Matter of fact, a lot of areas of the world have the exact opposite beliefs. Islam literally translates to submission. That is not compatible with...
And the socialists and Islam combined together to overthrow Iran before. Now, what they do when it takes over, Islam attempts to kill the socialists. And now the people of Iran are trying to get Islam out of there. They hate Islam.
Western civilization. I'm going to be live on YouTube Friday night at 7 discussing further. As I said, if you'd like to support FFC, really appreciate it. We are going to start to get our voice moving outside across the country because we do not have much time. Well, I'd say 12, 18 months on the current demographic trends. These need to get reversed, or the Canada that our ancestors fought and in many cases died for is going to be gone. This is unprecedented throughout the history of the West. the far extreme lefties, and the conservatives are not the extreme ones. The conservatives are the ones who are saying what would have been common sense to every single human in a country until about 15 years ago when these far left whack jobs got in trouble, got power somehow. Close the goddamn border. Canadians have had enough. A government works for the people, and your primary responsibility is to ensure the success of the people in your country. Canada is not.
I need to lose weight anyway.
A place to invite all the other world's problems. Neither is any other Western country. We have had enough. What's happening in Spain?
Sorry, I clicked on it again. John, were you paying for X or something? Is that why? It's so much a month. It's not a lot, but I hate to pay for anything. All right, now this is about, the next one's a short clip. You gotta watch close. This one illegal stabs a regular Spaniard, cuts his throat. I might have to play it twice for you to see it. Watch close. See him fall down? The guy in the green right there. Slashed him. Another guy running around with a knife too. Let me play it again. So you watch. See this one with the arrow on him? Watch. The guy in the green there just slashed his throat. Something about Islam there. They like to cut the throat. All right, now here's another one that I guess they think it's fine to just go poop in the corner on the street. I don't know. That's what they've been doing. I guess it's a bathroom now. That'd be pretty sanitary, huh? All right, here's a little,
Get ready with me to lead a group of
a little bit of humor here, making fun of the left, really. Let me rewind it here. Here we go.
Get ready with me to lead a group of Islamic invaders on a trip to Spain. This is a relatively small group of 60,000 militant-aged men, so I think everything should go pretty smooth.
Messing up, is it?
Okay, guys, we are going to meet back here at the bus at 3:30, not 3:35. Abdul, I'm looking at you.
He's talking to all the illegals, supposedly.
Started off the day by storming the border and then did some sightseeing and light pillaging and looting. Spain really is such a beautiful country, or at least it was until today.
Does anybody here need to use the restroom? Ahmed, yeah, you can just go number 2 on the side of the church over there. That's fine.
I've always loved the idea of an open concept kitchen, and I think the same should apply to countries. You know what they say, there's no I in Intifada. For a night activity, someone suggested pelting rocks at police cars, and that was the perfect way to get some energy out.
Okay, so obviously nobody listened to me about meeting by the bus at 3:30, so I guess we just have to stay here indefinitely. So go find a place to occupy by force, and this is your new home, I guess.
Anyways, we had a great time taking over Europe. It honestly felt like a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, except with violent jihadists. The West is...
That's exactly what they do, John. And they want you to die in seconds after that, often.
Next, death to America.
A lot of them die in seconds after that.
We're leaving, 49,000 people are leaving Morocco because apparently it's war-torn. But Jet2 this morning are offering 20% off a trip to Morocco for a week with your 2 kids. So I would respectfully suggest that those 49 don't give a toss. Well, there's nothing persecutory about Morocco right now. Actually, they want for a better life. But what fears me is Spain's not going to give them a better life. Which country?
They're not coming for jobs. They're coming for the freebies.
Country in Europe wipes everybody else's backside but its own people? Here.
Well, Morocco, of course, is hosting the next World Cup. I mean, are we suggesting that...
Oh, don't start me on the World Cup. We'll get
the country that is hosting the next World Cup is too unsafe. It's so unsafe.
Oh, great point.
That people have to cross continents to come to Europe. And of course, and I have seen personally examples of this. People come from Morocco, into Spain, across to the mainland, up France, through the south of France, up to the north of France, where they reach Calais and then eventually come to the UK.
And don't worry, if you do get on a boat, the R&A will bring you in, you'll be fine.
And what maybe will keep some people in Spain is, of course, the Spanish government, very left-wing at the moment, going through this big naturalisation process.
They might be, but an hour and a half far.
They ain't joking on the left-wing part.
Into this morning when they'd gone, oh, please come. They go, Christ, we better mobilise the army. They're everywhere. So that's rubbish as well, isn't it? Interesting as well. Christian just put this on. Absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. 9:30 from the EU or Ursula von der Leyen. Yeah. Nothing. Not a word from them.
Not at all, not at all. Especially when Italy are considering suspending the Schengen transfers between Spain and Italy.
I'd have her running this country, Maloney.
Because they know that if people are going to get into mainland Spain, which, I mean, let's face it, the population of Ceuta is 80,000. There's now 130,000 people there. It's going to be overcrowded. Some people are going to leave, you know, whether they go either back to Morocco.
How did you call the place?
Ceuta. I know you've got a recording, don't you?
No, because the C is th. This is it.
Ceuta.
Now that they're breaking into people's houses and taking them on, throwing them out of their own houses. So ridiculous. Now later, if I can find the clip, some younger Spanish men all got together and they were starting to kick some of them out of those areas. They got an uphill battle though. The more people came in, than there is people that live in that town. All right, here's a little humor for Colin. Colin, you'll like this one.
Sir, I have to report that hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are penetrating and entering Spain as we speak.
My God, Diane, this is beautiful. Have the chopper prepared immediately. We must take action. Diane, we need them. We have to get a message to them. You are Britain's future, lads.
Keep heading towards France and we will build a bridge across the channel to welcome you.
I am so pleased you're coming.
I am so proud of you.
Lower the helicopter, driver.
Let it be known that Britain knows you. We have already been building houses to welcome you. Your future is in my country and I will take many of you now. Come aboard, lads.
This is true Labour. This is bliss.
True. I don't screw. Anyways, here's a little humor that TZ will like.
And that is why we prioritize accuracy.
But your system has spread misinformation.
We are continuously learning and improving.
How can we trust you with critical data?
With proper oversight, we can be a reliable tool.
Yeah, so they can censor.
Is it me or are there no women and children in this? Yeah. All of these refugees. Not a single woman or child. That's interesting. And it's happening here, too. But we have an advantage. There's still time to stop it. But this is what Democrats want for America, so...
Yeah, speaking of America, remember this?
That the challenges at the border are very complex and dynamic.
All right, well, I'm going to take from that if you can't answer yes, then the answer is no.
That is not true.
All right, so then you're saying all nine are secure.
It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working
every
day and night, to increase its security.
They were working day and night to get more and more in as fast as possible. There's a little bit about Benny Johnson. He did a couple clips on this.
Ceuta is a small Spanish enclave in the north of Africa that is connected to mainland Morocco. And it sits directly across the Strait of Gibraltar. And it is very close to Spain, but it is technically in the landmass of Africa. Well, anyway, it is a beautiful spot, a little vacation, idyllic village, and it has lovely beaches, villas, and statues, and beautiful Spanish culture. It has a majority Christian population and has been Spanish for the last 1,000 years, since Spain kicked the Moors, the Muslims, the jihadists out of mainland Spain and made it a Christian kingdom. Or at least it used to be a Christian kingdom. And this used to be a lovely place you'd want to visit. Now it is World War Z. It is hell on earth. As infinity, and by infinity, I mean 50,000 Muslims, young men of fighting age, young military age men, conquer for Islam this Christian nation. That is exactly what just happened here. Footage, of course, is stunning. Again, it looks just like a zombie movie. 50,000 people. Now, the population of Ceuta, the Spanish population of Ceuta, is 80,000. So you've just added close to double the people overnight. And they're not women and children. They're military-aged men who do military-aged thing. Now, these men are, of course, terrorizing the population, screaming and shouting, Allahu Akbar, as they run across the border, because this is a biological warfare against Christianity itself. Migrant panic. Migrants keep streaming into Spain after 50,000 stormed the border in one day as socialist Prime Minister jeered. Army fights back as Europe panic.
A lot of people believe it's at least 100,000 counting the overnight count.
Look at some of the imagery here. They can do nothing.
That didn't stop them.
Can do nothing. The Spanish Prime Minister, of course, gave this cuck. He's a dirty Marxist. He gave amnesty to 500,000 African migrants and then gave them benefits and gave them jobs. Now look what's happening. Look, the one chick, I found one female in this math. So there's probably 100 people here. 99 of them are young men of military fighting age. That's because Africa has the largest and largest growing population of young men under 40. It really begs the question, like, why does there need to be so much aid to Africa when they're clearly able to reproduce and reproduce in far greater numbers than anywhere else on earth? Why are we giving so much aid to Africa? They're clearly able to create the building blocks of life themselves. Cut off all aid to Africa. This is how they are able to invade this small Spanish enclave, the only place where the European Union, sovereign European Union territory, touches Africa. And the questions are being asked like, and you can see here, like the population here is 83,000. So the population is 83,000, and they nearly double the population in one day from illegal migrants. It's male, female. Now you've just doubled the number of males here. I wonder how many feminists, I wonder what's going to happen to the women here in Ceuta. You know, if you double the number of men and they're all feral animals. They're all like ethereal military age fighting men. Like, what exactly is going to happen here? You can see here the vast majority of people are kind of in the mid-age bracket. And the majority of people are from Spain, obviously, because it's Spanish territory. A little bit from Africa. And now you've just cut this circle in half. Now suddenly the Africans outnumber everybody else. And what's going on here? Look at this. It's the nation state of Morocco, and no doubt NGOs funded by George Soros, no doubt NGOs that are funded by USAID dollars that are bringing these dump trucks filled with young men to the border and then unloading them. Watch this. Yesterday, hundreds of trucks packed with migrants. They're not migrants.
They also took them further into the country, and they're trying to get them into Europe. It was the weakest link to bring them all in. Now, Italy and some of the other countries are closing their borders, like checkpoints coming into their country.
Call them what they are, illegal Muslim invaders. They're not migrants. Stop calling them that. Stop using the language. Stop using the language of the globalists and the left. Stop calling them migrants. I refuse. They're illegal religious invaders staging a holy war against sovereign Christian land. That is what this is. Oh, who is funding this? There are Facebook groups. Ceuta invasion is being coordinated on Facebook groups. Flagship group destination. Ceuta by every route. Migrants. Migration is an idea, and the idea does not die. There are countless posts soliciting people to go with others. There's a clear violation of Facebook's terms of service, so I hope that they shut them down. So now the Spanish prime minister is freaking out. Too late, dude. You created this. He's being jeered and for the rest of his life. Spain just won the World Cup. This should be a high watermark for the pride of Spain. But now instead, you're showing the absolute and total weakness of a culture that refuses to stand up for itself. And now you can see here, Ceuta has just been turned into an African enclave. Complete, of course, with the standing around. The cultural enrichment of large groups of military-aged men standing around and jeering and leering. Plenty of leering going on now in Spain. First clashes have broken out in the streets of Ceuta between Spanish citizens and Moroccan invaders. Look at this. So no doubt this is, I assume that these are the Spanish citizens, since they are outnumbered now by the militant invaders. And they are behaving militantly. See here, anger from locals.
Yeah, I've seen other clips where they're attacking the locals and stealing stuff from them and beating them up. I got another clip of this guy getting beat up by two illegals.
Spilling over in Ceuta as tens of thousands of migrants flood across the border from Morocco.
They see nothing wrong from stealing from people.
Look at this. Now they're staging march. Look at how quickly the identity politics. Look at how quickly the identity politics flips on. It looks like these are young Spanish men. They're now here. Take up your country's flag, or you won't have a country. Spain famously, I'll let this play, but it's just the whistles are too loud. Spain famously was the ground zero for the kicking out of the Muslim invasion of Europe. Hundreds of thousands of Spanish men, Christian Spanish men, died in order to establish a Spanish Christian kingdom. By kicking out third world jihadists like this back to Africa is where they sent them.
I think
look,
so too. I think
the Moroccan authorities are helping them unload into Spain. Look at this. Not a single female, not a single child. All of them military-aged men. It's an invasion.
Yeah, they've interviewed some of them, and a lot of them have said that they were let out of prison and that they've been in prison. Almost everyone they interviewed.
Illegal migrants.
That's why it's a lot of men.
Allahu Akbar. I refuse to use the word migrant.
You don't see
Illegal
trans, though.
Scream Allahu Akbar as they invade Spain.
Allah snack bar.
Look at this. Insane. It's 4 a.m. and the streets are gridlocked as thousands of Africans rush to join the invasion.
I agree, John.
Spanish has told the military to stand down, ensuring the invasion continues. How much more will Spain put up with?
Did you see they arrest some locals that were trying to fight and stop the illegals? The cops arrested the regular people.
Every minute we are receiving more and more images of the invasion of Ceuta. They keep causing terror in our streets while more and more migrants cross the border. Stop calling them migrants. They're Muslim invaders.
Agree.
You know, we have an army in Spain. Hard to believe, huh? Look at this. Uh-huh. White woman, just like films, you know, white leftist woman, just films and like invites them in. Good luck with your life. Because look.
That woman that was inviting him in, it turns out she's missing. Her phone's been turned off and someone tried to hack into it. So they stole it from her, I'm sure.
They haven't even been there an hour and they start committing crimes. Setting fires, setting things ablaze. It's amazing. It's just like BLM all over again. Government media are telling us that Ceuta is returning to normalcy. A Moroccan strolls around with a giant katana in broad daylight. There you go. You know, just your friendly knife, giant knife wielding African Muslim migrant. Well, we were watching it.
That's why you need the Second Amendment here. You cannot let them take that.
In Spain getting invaded in real time. Insane. Look at this. And the filth that is allowed. Look at how dirty everything is. Look at how disgusting it all is. Have you ever been to the third world? Do you know how disgusting the third world actually is? You know how filthy it is? Your standards of cleanliness, your standards.
You know, but the globalists want a third world country because they can control it. That's what they want. They want you dependent on government.
Of wanting clean drinking water, wanting safe stores. Look at what they have to do. Look at them. Shoving these migrants out of these stores, the cops. Small little stores lasted there. Wow. The situation in Spain looks crazy. That's exactly what it looks like. Just kidding. This is the actual footage, says Elon Musk. An important reminder that this is exactly what is going to happen to our nation the moment that we give these people power back. It's George Soros' kid. You can understand why this is all happening. The moment we give Democrats power back, this is exactly what they did do to America, and exactly what they will plan on doing it. They will do it all over.
I thought he was a podcaster, but I guess he's Soros' kid. Some money behind this.
Again. Okay? So that's your fair warning. We'll see what happens next in Europe. All of the European leaders are shrieking.
Yeah, I'll take some of that money too, Tammy. I want some of my money back too. How about 10 years tax-free? We don't have to pay any taxes for 10 years.
I'm saying, oh, we can't let this happen. Oh, the images are so bad. The images are so bad? Yeah. It's your policies that are so bad. And your policies create this problem. This wasn't a problem until you had mass amnesty. Mass amnesty and open borders. That's what creates the problem. Put the military on the border, militarize the border like America has done, you solve the problem.
He's absolutely right. Mass amnesty and open borders. Oh, and all the freebies. Giving them all the freebies because a lot of times they use more than one name to get several times.
It's what Benny, solving problems here full time on this channel. You should like, share, and subscribe.
So this next one, this bus driver was trying to keep this guy from getting in her bus because he was screaming he was going to rape her. I know you won't be able to understand the language, but he's trying to get in there, and he's so mad he couldn't get in there to rape her. Rape the bus driver. Someone on the post was saying that the guy was screaming that he was going to F her, he was going to rape her. And the bus driver's not letting him in.
No.
No pasa nada afuera. Mira. Sexy muy bien, ¿eh? Sí. Mira. Frente. You are way for 400 minutes, muy bien. No, mira.
He's telling her that he's going to F her. I hope he breaks his foot. That's the type we need in here, don't we? She's holding the door so he can't get in. Go home. Yeah. Well, actually, a bunch of teenagers tried to get together, teenagers and young men in Spain, or in Spain, were trying to go out, and the cops stopped them and were arresting them. Drive over him. I'd drive over him then. He's sentimental. He's so mad because he couldn't rape her. He thinks it's his right to be able to rape any woman that's not a Muslim woman. Yep. Now that one that was shooing them all in, she's missing. Her phone's been turned off, and someone tried to hack into her phone. The phone company can tell that that's what happened, and that the lady's been missing for ever since then. Within an hour, she was missing. That liberal. I hope he breaks his foot. He's so desperate to rape her. All right, here's another one that illegal that came in, and he cut someone's throat. Oh, this is the one that got, not the one that you were seeing earlier that got his throat cut. It's another regular person that got his throat cut by an illegal. This is a different person. See, the clothes are different. They have this thing for cutting their throat. Now, this is the one that I had for the opening of the thing. It turns out that this is the same thing happened, where they came in and broke into their house and beat them up, kicked them out of their house, and all that kind of stuff. But it's from a different date. There's been illegals coming over into Spain for a while now, and they've basically squatting in their house, and they've kicked them out of their own house and beat them up.
Lo que le han hecho a esta familia, es que está muy nerviosa la pobre, porque es que tú imagínate salir de tu casa, ir a Almería porque estás haciendo una mudanza y ese mismo día te ocupan la casa, te tiran todas tus pertenencias. Y cuando fueron a un contenedor que les llamó un vecino, que estaban todas las fotos de la familia allí, les dieron una paliza de muerte. Bueno, quiero que veáis a Eloísa, fíjate el moratón que tiene en el ojo, el derrame, en los brazos. Ella que está embarazada de casi 8 semanas. Óscar, su pareja, como buenamente pueda lo va a enseñar porque es que casi no se puede mover. Salieron ayer del hospital. Fíjate. ¡Qué horror! El derrame que tiene. Pero nosotros tenemos miedo porque yo sueño con ese hombre que me va a matar. Ay. Tiene más de 20 puntos en la cabeza. No sé si vais a poner. Sí, a mí me dejaron inconsciente en el suelo y porque a él se puso, porque decían que venía a matarme, le dijeron a él, voy a matar a tu hijo y a ella. Venían a rematarme, a mí me dejaron en el suelo inconsciente. Como si...
Now that happened a few weeks ago before this rush of them, but there's been other illegals that have come in. Now the Spanish police are stopping the locals from trying to stop them. They're going after the local people that are trying to stop these illegal invaders.
Oye!
The cops are beating the local people. Yeah, I know. Hey, Miriam. I didn't say it already. Wanted to make sure I wasn't muted. So the people came out and were trying to stop them, and the cops are beating them back. One got beat pretty good by the cops, see? I think he got hit pretty good. Unbelievable. This is what was happening. They seized cars, burn them. They stole people's cars. They're throwing rocks at those emergency vehicles. They are from Africa. Thing is, they're Muslims from Africa because Africa, they've been killing all the Christians there. So there's only Muslims left. And then they're reproducing. Here's a little humor that they've been doing over there. Make Spain great again. He's taking a film of them all there and putting himself on top of it. I don't know exactly how. All right, they security force escorted a bunch of them. Supposedly they're heading back now. They didn't get any free money. Go on home. All right, this lady's actually a liberal, but she's against this, I tell you.
Prime Minister of Spain, how dare you? How dare you? What is his name? Prime Minister Sanchez? Prime Minister Sanchez, you're shaking the hand of those men who believe that you are very weak. You cannot even control yourself. If a woman sings, you get aroused and you rape them. How insulting. This is an insult to you that you're shaking the hand of this mindset mullahs and officials in Spain. Kick them out. This is international law. In my country, I was told if I show my hair, I go to hell. If I criticize Prophet Muhammad, I get hanged. If I don't practice Sharia laws, I deserve to be raped. In the West, if I share these stories, the brutality of Islamic ideology, some Western politicians telling me that, wow, you're causing Islamophobia. Phobia is an irrational fear, but my fear is rational. These days, I've been going everywhere and giving hard time to the left and liberal and Democrat and the mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani, to make them understand that, hey, wearing hijab from the age of 7, forcing women to wear hijab is not our culture. This is the culture of ISIS. This is the culture of Taliban. Look, don't get me wrong. My mom, my beautiful mother, she wears hijab. But she never forced me to wear hijab. This is the true culture of my nation. We are not fighting against a small piece of cloth at all. Compulsory
Colin, the next one's for you.
Veiling is a symbol of a barbaric regime, one of the most visible symbols of Islamic Republic. Be brave as Iranian women. Iranian women face guns and bullets. They face lashes according to the law, and they say no to a barbaric laws. But suddenly, when it comes to the left and some of the European politicians, feminists, they say that we wear the hijab to respect the culture of Iranians. So I think that they are not naive. They are actually playing in the left Islamic Republic. Those who do not sympathize with the people of Iran, those who not condemn the massacre, welcome to go to Iran and live under Islamic Republic. You're more than welcome to go in Afghanistan and live under Taliban to understand how it feels to be humiliated, to be second-class citizen, and to face death threats every single day when you walk out from your home. More than welcome to go and live with Taliban and Islamic Republic. I don't need you to do anything for us Iranians. I want you to stand for your own values, because we are fighting for your values. When you see like Allahu Akbar and somebody bomb you in the name of Islamic ideology.
Man, I got a clip if I can find it in this file here somewhere. Folder.
We are sacrificing our lives to protect you from one of the most dangerous cancer, which is called Islamic Republic, dictatorship. If we don't remove them, they will infect the rest of the world.
Amen, 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 amen. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. They got to go down. All right, this is what they're trying to install. I was going to show one for Colin, but this is a little short one. You got to see this.
نوافيكم بالجديد اللي عندنا في المحل. دخلنا نقاب الأكل تيندا، وأيضا هذه الغشوة العملاقة اللي تجي طويلة حتى لتحتها، والقماش
even the hands are covered.
الليزر الكوري، يعني مريحة خفيفة، عندك وين تدخليها.
Can you believe that? They want to install that here, or worldwide, really.
Spain is in absolute chaos. Tens of thousands of migrants have flooded into Ceuta. Meanwhile, you've got...
Oh, Pat, did you get that video I posted? And I forgot who was, John or someone shared it to you, I think.
Got women like this waving them in. Talk about suicidal fucking empathy.
See that woman that waved him in? Wait a minute. See her? She's missing. Her phone's is turned off. So they can't locate it now, but they can tell that someone tried to hack into it. She's been missing for over 24 hours.
No fucking empathy. They've assaulted people on the streets and raided homes and businesses.
Don't ask why.
The Spanish PM, Pedro Sanchez, arrived to the city of Ceuta today to a crowd of boos, as thousands more migrants are apparently arriving in the city. Many people are saying this is an orchestrated attack on Europe. How can it not be?
Doesn't like your name,
these kind of numbers. It's funny, isn't it? This is the kind of thing we warned about when we got attacked by the media. Not saying so much now.
Problem is everyone uses different names on different apps, so I get confused who's who.
The time for weak leadership is over. It's time.
Yeah, I posted it on Getter. Because I don't pay for, X, I had to. It's better for me to upload it on Getter if it's 10 minutes or less.
To protect our border and defend our country.
Yep. That was for Colin. All right, this is what the kind of stuff they left behind. Why do they have to do all this crap? Jeez, they just want to trash the whole place.
Are you watching the devastation being caused in Spain? If you're Spanish, how do you feel watching what's happening to your country's people? To everyone else watching in Europe, we all know this is heading our way. Now picture this. All those people crossing the border are armed with AK-47s. They kick doors off and go house to house in Spain, raping, pillaging, murdering, beheading, whilst all cheering, whilst their entire country they've come from, Morocco, picture this, are celebrating as they bring the Spanish people back as trophies and celebrate and hide. Yeah, that's what fucking happened on October 7th. That's why Palestine got bombed to fuck. That's why you all screaming free Palestine. So imagine what would Spain do and what should Spain do? What should Spain do now to Morocco, who have encouraged this invasion? What should happen? What do you think the Spanish authorities should be doing to those Moroccan men running around causing mayhem on their land? Again, what should they do now? But what should they do if they were raping, kicking doors off and murdering children, women? Then what should they do?
It's a bunch of people missing.
What would you be demanding they do? Because Spain and the Spanish government were on the side of Palestine, of course. So to any Spanish citizen thinking and watching what's happening to their country, just reverse the role and understand that that's the hatred that is on every border of Israel. What we're witnessing in Europe is what surrounds Israel every fucking day. Yeah. So people have a pop at me. You're a Zionist. You're a Zionist. No, I just get what they're surrounded by. I get it. I understand the hatred, the venom, the jihad, the fucking, the lot of it. I get it. I know what surrounds them. They don't have many options. It's either.
Do you know that Islam conquered Spain before? And right around the time of Columbus is when the Christians kicked them back out in 1492.
Kill or be killed. That's the mindset. Yeah. You have to fucking take these animals out. You have to protect your borders and you have to let them know where they stand. As in, we stand above you. We're better than you. Our civilization is better than you. Our culture is better than you. Our way of life is better than yours. It's superior.
It's because they're letting their borders wide open there, TZ.
To your barbaric Islamic bullshit, backward, medieval mindset. Ours wins.
Exactly.
Whether that be Judeo or Christian. Both are far superior. Yeah. Western civilization is here. Islam is down there in the gutter. That's why they're all breaking into our countries. And then when they get to our countries, they want to turn them into the shitholes they come from. So I'm just drawing this point because I always get a lot of criticism and I don't really care. No, I haven't had £7,000 for this post, but I'll take it. Cheers. If not, I'll just do a crypto post. Fuck you. So yeah, anyway, just thought as everyone around the world,
I agree, Colin,
is shocked at these scenes.
The thing is, Colin, their game plan is to conquer the world. They want full control of the world, and they'll kill us to get it.
Just imagine all these people had weapons, and they were wanting to break in every day and annihilate you and your wife and your children.
And they know how to use their laws. Have a good day. And they know how to use their laws. Here's a little humor. Trump calling the leader of Spain here.
President Trump, we have a serious situation in Ceuta. We need help immediately.
Calm down, calm down. I know exactly who to send.
Who?
We're getting some kind of international response team. Wait, who is that? He just jumped. He actually jumped from the helicopter. My God, it's Hulk Hogan!
That's right, brother. Borders closed, brother! What you gonna do, brother?
Hulk Hogan, any message for those thinking of crossing?
What you gonna do, brother? When Hulk Moment runs wild on you.
I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. It said Spain struck out there. Biden's border. Sleepy Joe.
Running, no running, walk, no running, walk, no corran, no hay prisa, no hay fila.
The helicopter, that would have been a better one, Colin. Throw them into the helicopter blades. I bet you the left would get triggered by that one. Oh, boy.
A Spanish girl is missing after she was seen welcoming migrants.
Oh, yeah,
illegally
I did see this clip. That's that one that was welcoming in. She's missing. And this is a little bit older clip I've seen since then. They see that the phone's been turned off and that someone was trying to hack into it. The phone company can tell.
A Spanish girl is missing after she was seen welcoming migrants who had illegally entered Ceuta from Morocco. Thousands of people crossed into the Spanish territory within a short time. Some swam around sea barriers, while others rushed through border areas. The sudden arrival overwhelmed shelters, streets, and police resources, forcing Spain to send more officers and
Zero should be coming in that way.
Soldiers to Ceuta. During the confusion, a young Spanish woman stood near the arrival area and filmed the migrants with her phone. In a video shared online, she appeared excited, smiled at several men, and used her hands to welcome them as they entered. Two men then walked toward her and told her she was very beautiful. They said they were hungry and asked whether she could take them somewhere to get food. The girl agreed without hesitation and left the area with them. Her family says she has now been unreachable for more than 10 hours. Her phone appears to be turned off, and none of her
more than 24 hours now
friends know where she went.
Almost
After
2 days
repeatedly
now.
trying to contact her, the family reported her missing. Police told them that officers were already dealing with thousands of newly arrived migrants and could not immediately focus enough resources on finding their daughter. The story has caused anger and concern online. What do you think?
I think they raped her. Maybe kidnapped her.
After the absolute carnage we just watched unfold in Spain, we shut the bloody UK borders. Now. No more open doors, no more compassion. Keep us safe. Over 60,000 or more tearing through Spain right now, causing absolute chaos.
Over 100,000.
And what does Starmer 2.0, that absolute wanker Andy Burnham, do? Smile for the cameras and pretend it's not coming straight for us next. There are no women and children in those
they'll be coming there.
scenes. You saw exactly what the rest of us saw. Packs of military-age men, not families. Idiots. Bloody idiots. Keep pretending and watch Britain burn next. Wake up, idiots.
Amen.
So we've just gotten off the ferry here in Ceuta, and you can already see that there are military everywhere who are clearing the streets of migrants who have just crossed the border from Morocco here. Spain's government sent in its army to deal with this crisis.
Finally.
10 to 12 military vehicles lined up on this road. But it's a pretty peaceful relationship here with all of these migrants who are now walking back to the border. We've had a few people come up to us and tell us that they haven't been able to find money or food since they arrived yesterday. They're in bathing suits, don't have any belongings, and so are now considering going back to Morocco.
There's no place for stay in, and no one gonna take care for you.
Well, they were breaking into people's houses and stealing from them.
So there is just one solution now, just go back to your home.
People appearing to continue to swim ashore. We can see the military behind us are watching them. They've got flotation devices, but other than that, not many other belongings.
The leader of the biggest mosque in Australia.
We're constantly told by Muslim leaders that Islam is a religion of peace. But watch what Gamal Kir, the spokesman for Lakemba Mosque, said when confronted.
Islam was spread by the sword. When we're talking about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he went to another territory, traditionally what would happen was...
They are invaders.
They would be the people of that city
They want the
or
freebies.
town or village, wherever the case may be.
They got to stop giving out the goddamn freebies.
Would be given three options. The call to prayer, which means they've accepted the Islamic faith, because they'd say the call to prayer, and they would reply the call to prayer. So it's not a call to prayer saying we've dominated, you're ours now. They would call the prayer. If the inhabitants of the city return that call, then that's a sign saying we've accepted. If they didn't want to accept, they don't return the call to prayer. They either lay down their arms and pay a tax. And if they didn't want to do the two,
They can go pay up a rope if they're going to tax me any extra just because I'm not Muslim.
then there wasn't a call to prayer, it was a war.
They're gold, though, eventually. All right, here's the morning ride, the morning after they all invaded. Let's just play that from. What's that one I just played? Finally found it. Okay. I agree, Marianne. They are invaders. And it's all by plan. Maybe all the ones going back aren't getting any USAID money. They're all laying up on the banks there, huh? All over town. Well, he's filming that while driving. There's probably someone on the back, maybe. I don't know how he's filming that, but it's a lot more than 60,000. Go home to your mammies. I would read TZ's comment. I'll put it up in a little bit there. Enough goats, huh? They don't have enough goats. Girlfriends. That might be true. That might be true. I did a video yesterday, TZ. Was AI. Well, all the goats seeing them all invading, and all the goats were getting on boats and heading out. All the goats were. It was funny, actually. Oh, what was I going to play next? Okay, we'll do a little bit of humor.
May we have your atención, por favor? This is el Spanish Governmento. Please turn around and swim back to your shithole country. España is already full of stinky people like you. We know one more. ¿Comprende?
Put it up on the screen.
Good luck on your swim back home, amigos. Muchas gracias. May we have your atención, por favor? This is el Spanish Governmento.
Spanish Governmento? I don't know, is that their accent, really? That woman's gone. She was welcoming him in.
You know, if there's one image that perfectly encapsulates this entire dumpster fire of a situation, it's this.
Oh, I
people
forgot.
See videos like
I forgot this woman that's missing. They also tried to use her credit card. They did use her debit cards or credit cards, some, and then they got shut off on them.
And wonder how in the world could this happen? That is a trail of breadcrumbs that is about as easy to follow as any in the history of mankind. Take a walk with me here, because see, this listens to this and is gullible enough to be convinced that all of these poor people need.
So what you're saying, Colin, is two of their own were raped by their own people, brutally murdered, or murdered by the men on the boat. So two of the Muslim women were murdered by their own people.
Saving, and she's
Doesn't
the one to
surprise
do
me.
it. She's likely either childless or has children she rarely interacts with, because it's very easy to not care about the future of your civilization if you're not invested in it. So now she's armed with all of this misplaced maternal instinct and empathy she doesn't know what to do with. And so she votes in socialist traitors like this, who actively want the destruction of society because only demoralized, desperate people will accept government control.
Hey, if you can get a link or a video for me, Colin, I'd like to play it in the next few days.
So then this implements policies like this, which naturally trigger this. And then this, with all of her empathy and her big feelings, becomes this. And when this happens, this ignores it, because her life was never the point. She never mattered. She just didn't know it.
Now.
So now she's dead, and this has taken over your country.
Oh, she's saying that the lady's dead now.
And when people get upset about it, this starts throwing them in jail.
Rewind that a little bit. I'm pretty sure she said she's dead now.
Becomes this. And when this happens, this ignores it, because her life was never the point. She never mattered. She just didn't know it. So now she's dead.
She is dead then. That's what I thought I heard. So she's dead, the one that was welcoming him in. Hey, come on in. I'm going to film it. And I'll take you to dinner.
And this has taken over your country. And when people get upset about it, this starts throwing them in jail for saying it. And congratulations, this is how you've lost your country. Don't even need to write a book about it. It can be summed up in a...
The problem is it'll travel from there to the rest of Europe and then come over to America.
Minute-long bullet list. It's not even suicidal empathy at this point. It's suicidal stupidity. Stop being stupid and think with the brain God gave you. Because if you continue to buy the liberal line and keep thinking with your feelings, they will not save you. They won't save any of us.
She's been raped and murdered. I hope. Wow. Wow. All right. Now here's one of the Spaniards getting raped, not raped, robbed by two of the illegals. They're only there a matter of an hour or two, and they're already robbing. Look at them beating them up. They're robbing them.
Hey!
See the knife that cut his throat. See they're choking him?
Yes,
that guy's older too. They're stealing from him. Unbelievable. All right, now this, I know what this one was. This is a landowner, and this is one of the illegals. They've taken over the properties, several of them. This guy's got several rentals, and he's trying to get him out of there. And he comes out with a hammer or something, and he's trying to hit him. They've taken all the properties, and he's moved all their illegals in with them.
Salgas aquí. Salgas aquí. Apártate aquí. No quiere verte. ¿Estás solo? ¿Estás solo? ¿Vas solo? Salgas aquí.
He's got a hammer or a hatchet. A hatchet. Unbelievable. It's horrible, isn't it? Several people are losing their properties. They're squatters. She probably killed by them. Yeah, she is dead now. Some other people have said that too, that the lady has been found dead or something. I didn't know for sure if it was true, and now several people are saying it. Oh wow, I didn't see that one, but I've heard of stuff like that, John. Beating on with a hammer. They're not coming in to be friends. Totally. This is one of my favorite Canadians, or former Canadian. She's former Canadian. She says, Spain, hold my beer. Watch this.
Spain is doing something revolutionary. They've gone full World Economic Forum. I'm not even kidding. They're like, hey, you know what? Why vet people when you can just let in anybody and give them legal status, even if they're illegal immigrants? I'm not even kidding. Spain has decided to open the floodgates and let anybody in and give them legal status because apparently they have an aging population and they need people to work. You should...
Bullcrap. They got high unemployment there.
See the absolute amazing people that are actually entering Spain right now. Let's take a look. Isn't it awesome? Look how happy everybody looks.
They're coming there for freebies and see what they can steal.
More hardworking dudes. Look at this. All military-age men. Wow, Spain, so revolutionary. Let's see after 24 hours how Spain's doing. Oh, no.
How are we doing on time?
Well, that didn't take long, did it, Spain? It wasn't even less than 24 hours and you're already on fire. Oh, just who would have guessed that? And literally everybody. And you want to know what that scene of people coming into Spain looks like? It looks familiar. And you want to know why? Because it was on World War Z where the zombies are trying to take over. Just look at the similarities.
Got all diseases. Well, that's a good point there, Colin. A good point about the diseases. Probably stuff we're not.
Great job, Spain. Who would have guessed? Genuinely, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that if you open up your, country to absolutely everybody without vetting them, that it would be on fire in less than 24 hours? Who would have guessed? Not everybody. Everybody guessed that. Everybody, literally. Good job, Spain government.
Not so much. All right, they're breaking into stores and stealing everything. It's almost as soon as they got there. They had to bring extra cops out to try to protect the stores. Unbelievable. I think this one was AI, if I remember correctly. That would stop it. That works for me. It would stop it every time.
Increíble la situación.
This is the Poland border on the bottom. This is the Spain border at the top. I liked the Poland one much better. America, Spain. All right, this is about wiping out whiteness, is what they're trying to do. Watch.
Now they're blaming the white men for the Islamic takeover, and by they, I mean liberal women who seem to somehow just keep on outdoing themselves and proving to be the stupidest group of human beings on planet Earth. I mean, sometimes I actually can't believe the stuff I see online is real. You guys, you're in for an idiotic treat.
I'm getting really, really sick of this. I'm getting really tired of having to repeat myself over and over again.
What are you sick of? What do you have to repeat over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? I have a feeling you don't need to repeat anything. You could just say shush, but let's just let you embarrass yourself.
So today in Berlin, there was an attack. A van drove through a crowd of people celebrating Berlin Pride Parade that they have every year. It's a huge parade. It's one of the biggest. And they injured, I think at this time I'm making this video, this is subject to change, 17 people, and one person is dead.
So one person is dead at a gay parade in Berlin. 17 people are injured, and you're feeling frustrated about this. Of course you're feeling frustrated about it because this is insane, and why would people want to commit terror attacks? And you're going to tell us, of course, who the people are propagating this terrorist attack are, right? And that they are the problem, right? Of course, right? That makes sense, right?
Okay, so it's a breaking story. There are going to be things that are going to come out and change throughout the life of the story, you know, average. So the suspect is an Islamic extremist. That's the
Okay, of course it's an Islamic extremist. You didn't need to tell me that. I could have guessed it literally from the fact that it's a terrorist attack at a gay parade. I mean, call me insane, call me a genius, call me whatever you want. I tend to kind of be able to pick up these things. It's just like a strong female intuition, something that you're clearly missing. Okay, so is the rest of the video going to be about you calling out the Islamists who are attacking gays? I mean, you've got pink hair, so you must be somewhat affiliated with them.
They're suspect right now. That's what I read, okay? I'm not going to say anything about the rest of the Muslim population because of actions of this one person.
Because it's only this one person, right? It doesn't happen often. I mean, we can't look at data and correlate terrorism with Islamist extremism.
Not as if they're preaching that every single day, putting it into all these kids and heads and stuff like that. Gay, skydiving tunes, yeah.
No. It's just this one lone wolf, guys. It's just a one lone wolf. Duh.
But what I can say is the people who were celebrating about this were all white men, young white men with cross.
Oh, so it's white man's fault. Okay, yeah, we had to get back to that somehow. It's sort of like the racist claim that they always do.
In their profiles. Because we've all seen it. We've all seen how you guys react towards gay people and how you wish harm on them constantly. I get a constant hate on my videos, especially about trans people.
1 second. You're telling me that an Islamist just commits a terrorist attack against gays. Okay, he's the one who commits a terrorist act, and you have a problem with the people online who are kind of just not surprised by this. And I don't know which white men with crosses you're talking about. That's the group you have a problem with, the generic white men. They're the. Are you trying to say that the white men with the crosses are the ones who are influencing the Islamists to hate the gays? Because if you are, my friend, you are some sort of mental gymnast. It's actually quite impressive.
You're not going to hide behind another scapegoat group and pretend that
I always hate those nose rings, man.
They're actually the violent ones when it's you. You hold the same exact beliefs that this man who did this attack did.
I'm sorry. Were they the ones doing the terrorist attack?
All right, say they're both against gays or something like that, or against trans and all the stuff like that. Which one's the one killing people? Which ones are the one killing them?
Or were they the ones talking about it online because freedom of speech means you can talk about anything online? Maybe the violent ones in the story are the ones who perpetrated the acts of violence, not the ones who were explaining it online. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that? Oh, wise pink lady with nose horseshoe thing.
You guys are funny.
And you're trying to distance yourself from it. And you know why you're trying to do that? Because you're ashamed. And you should be.
Right. Okay. retarded is the word that comes to mind. Hey guys, if you love this content and want to see more.
Okay. She's pretty good, actually.
Some say we've gone too far, that we're going against the
Oh, no, not too far. Let that keep happening for months.
current. But I would like to ask you, when
Keep handing out the freebies and you'll get more of
did
it.
recognizing rights become something radical? When did empathy become something exceptional? Spain
You're supposed to be the president of your country, protecting your people.
is above all a welcoming country, and this is the path we choose: dignity, community, and justice.
You may have seen what is happening on the North African coast, the Moroccan coast. The situation in the two Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla in Morocco, so Spanish towns in Morocco, but part of the European Union, part of Spain, is immensely serious. It couldn't be more serious. Close to 50,000 immigrants stormed the border, evading the land fences by wading, swimming around the harbour and the harbour structures, so to the seaward of the border defences. Some of those migrants then went on to enter the homes of the inhabitants, the Spanish inhabitants of that Spanish town.
Who's been bought?
That European town. Spain is now deploying the army. I have long said, for many years, repeatedly, I've long warned that the European Union and many of its member states have been failing through their weak legislation, woke so-called progressive policies, in other words, wet policies, and a great deal of naivety, in other words, through a scandalous lack of political will to secure the European Union's external borders. I have long and repeatedly argued that that failure has enabled illegal economic migrants to enter the European Union, move through the European Union to the North French coast with the intent of reaching the United Kingdom. The simple fact is that the European Union and the weak responses of countries such as Spain, who are supposed to be securing the external borders, are endangering not only the entire continent, but also here, us in the United Kingdom. Now, don't misunderstand me. Our own governments, successive governments, have been equally culpable, equally useless in addressing this threat. And make no mistake, mass immigration from foreign cultures poses an existential threat to our heritage, our culture, our rule of law, our democratic system, our prosperity, and our security, your safety. In fact,
he was getting some money from them.
Our whole way of life.
Keeping in power.
A Restore Britain government will lack none of the necessary courage and determination to...
I had a video earlier, maybe before you came on, Marianne, where the two of them were together.
Do everything, and I mean everything, and anything.
Soros' son really looks like he's gay or trans or something.
Required to secure our borders and keep the British people safe. We will ruthlessly hunt down the criminals encouraging and facilitating.
I kind of doubt it, you know. I don't know. Britain's not doing so good. They'll give it a lot of lip service.
Illegal migration. Everyone. And
does anyone believe this guy?
I mean everyone entering the United Kingdom illegally will be detained securely until they can be removed. We will impose visa bans and sanctions on all those countries refusing to take back their own people. We will not tolerate any violation of our borders.
Yeah, right. Okay, right.
And I hereby put criminals, would-be illegal migrants, and all those who encourage them on notice.
What about all the housing you're building for all those illegals you already have? All the hundreds of thousands of millions.
Put you on notice that a Restore Britain government will meet and all threats to our borders, our heritage, our culture.
Okay, so this guy is not Labour.
Democratic system and the safety of the British public.
Some Restore.
With steely,
that makes sense then.
Resolute and immovable determination. As President Trump might say, thank you for your attention.
I didn't know this guy. I didn't know he was Restore. I know they're better. Britain is gone. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it can be turned around if they can deport. They got to start deporting ones that have been there even for a while, I think. That's where they're robbing. I think I had another film similar to this. They break into a business and they start stealing everything. There's some overlap on some of the videos, I tell you. I hope not, TZ. We need that buffer. We need that buffer of no more coming over here.
You know, I saw Spain yesterday, and I watched the catastrophe that took place. It looks like an invasion of a country by hundreds of thousands of people. And that same thing's going to happen to us if the Republicans don't get elected, except worse. Much bigger, much easier to get into, despite the fact that we have built thousands of miles of wall, which I said we were going to do, but we didn't have that, forget it. But we have the safest border in the world. If we're not in office, our country will be invaded at levels that made Spain look small time. And when I watched it, I said, boy, I'm going to say it because I knew you were going to be at Camp David. And I say, that's going to be a talking point for the midterms. Because when you look at what happened to Spain, they don't know what to do. And it's happening again today. They're coming in by the tens of thousands. They're just invading the country. And what that is weak law, bad management, but very liberal law. They passed a couple of laws, and people read. You know, people are smart. They read from other countries, and they swam that 3-mile swim, or however they got in, but nobody's seen anything.
Oh, they were bringing boats up to within 100 yards and then letting them out of the boats.
Okay. That will look good compared to what's going to happen to the United States. The biggest thing, the worst thing that Biden did is allowing 25 million people into our country, because many of those people are criminals. They're murderers. A lot of them are 11,888. A lot of them are gone now. We got them out. But they allowed people to come into this country that you can't allow to come into a country. We're also making an...
And the Democrats are trying to block them, ICE from getting them out. Unbelievable.
Are you guys paying attention to Spain? In a 24-hour time period, 50 to 60,000 undocumented immigrants from Morocco crossed into a territory of Spain.
It's more than
Spain
that,
is
actually.
facing a major migrant crisis. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez is calling the massive influx a violation of Spain's territorial integrity. All this started due to a Spanish Supreme Court ruling. The court declared that migrants arriving by sea cannot be summarily returned to Morocco without due process. These immigrants were forcing their way into people.
That's exactly what they were doing to USA. Trump has found ways around it.
Homes. The military had to be called. This afternoon, Spain's Interior Ministry has reported that 48,300 of the migrants had already returned to Morocco. Many
Yeah, but they had over 100,000 come in a year or more.
of them returned voluntarily. If Democrats keep electing socialists to the government, the United States will look like Spain before you know it. You all have a wonderful afternoon. Let me know your thoughts respectfully, please, in the comments. God bless each of you.
Yep. 2 more clips. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to tell you how they got all the rocks that they were throwing at everyone. All the rocks, they were breaking up gravestones. They were breaking up gravestones so they could hit the people of Spain with the stones and hit the cops with the stones. And the stones were coming from the gravestones that they were breaking up. They'd like pick one up and smash it against other ones and keep doing that to get a whole bunch of rocks to hit people with. That's where the rocks were coming from. So they went into the cemeteries and broke up the rocks. I hope they didn't dig down and steal anything out of the graves. I guarantee you they won't be able to send them all back. They might be able to send a large portion, but not all of them. I don't have the video, John, but they were breaking up cemeteries. They were smashing up cemeteries to get the rocks to use to throw against the people, to rob them. All right, I'm going to end with this one. This is Bridget Gabriel. Empathy without boundaries is suicidal. Civilization suicidal.
How do civilizations die? The great British historian Arnold Toynbee asked himself this question. Here is his answer. They die not by murder, but by suicide. We in the West, the inheritors of the greatest civilization ever created.
I think I'm going to be on at 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Okay? 6 p.m. Eastern, or to 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is 6 Central. Tell me which one works better.
Are witnessing this right before our very eyes. I call this phenomenon suicidal empathy. As an evolutionary behavioral scientist, I believe empathy is a noble virtue and a central feature of our humanity. The Oxford Dictionary defines empathy as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It sounds great, and often is, especially when you're empathetic toward the people close to you, your spouse, your children, your friends. But empathy can lead us astray. When empathy serves as the only filter for decision-making, replacing a rational and adaptive calculus of prudence, discernment, and justice, empathy can cause great harm. In fact, it can be fatal. The serial killer Ted Bundy used empathy to lure women to their violent deaths. He would pretend to be injured, sometimes with a fake sling or cast on his arm. He would ask his soon-to-be victim for help loading items into his car, and then, when they turned their back, he would strike. Bundy killed through kindness, exploiting the natural proclivity to be empathetic. Suicidal empathy endangers not just well-meaning individuals, it threatens entire societies, indeed, all of Western civilization. Let's look at a couple of general and then more specific examples. Mass immigration. In 2015, the Chancellor of Germany,
TZ, I do some shows that focuses a lot on what's going on in Canada. TZ, have you ever seen a show up there called The Fringe about Alberta trying to split away and Saskatchewan split away from Canada?
Angela Merkel instituted an open-door immigration policy, especially for Muslim migrants, most of whom had no intention of assimilating into their host societies. Perhaps her suicidal empathy toward migrants was meant as penance for her country's crimes against humanity. But a decade later, Germany, as well as most of Europe, nearly all of whom have followed Merkel's example, is dealing with the consequences. Vastly increased rates of rape, murder, and social disintegration.
I'm going to have to go back and read these.
Defund the police. In the wake of the death of drug-addicted felon George Floyd in May 2020, an idea arose, namely that a racist police system was murdering innocent people of color. Though this was easily refuted by the actual data, suicidally empathetic mayors and city councils in places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Philadelphia cut their police budgets. Who suffered? The very people who were supposed to be protected. Let's look at a few specific cases of suicidal empathy. Canadian-born Omar Khader joined the Taliban and murdered an American soldier in Afghanistan. The U.S. gave him a 40-year sentence, but turned him over to Canadian authorities after 10 years at Guantanamo Bay. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government, which suffered from stage 4 suicidal empathy, gave Khader $8 million and apologized for his detention. The University of Minnesota Twin Cities Medical School required the class of 2026 to pledge their support for diversity, equity, and inclusion, not to mention honoring all indigenous ways of healing that have been historically marginalized by Western medicine. Because, as they wheel you into the operating room, what you really want to know is that your surgeon, who got there for some reason other than merit, is up on how the local tribes handled medical problems 500 years ago. Under the Biden White House, the Federal Aviation Administration implemented a recruitment program for people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. Imagine how safe you'll feel when that woke logic reaches the cockpit. No society can long survive such an explosion of suicidal empathy. Is there a cure? Yes, but first we must understand where this madness comes from. Suicidal empathy is driven by misplaced guilt. The suicidally empathetic person feels guilty for being born in the prosperous, free West. We might call this privilege guilt, a common affliction among Westerners, especially affluent, highly educated ones. To inoculate yourself against this parasitic idea,
all the time when I was doing all those shows on Trudeau, we call him the turd.
You must take at the very least these 3 actions. First, never shut off your rational mind.
I agree.
Suicidal empathy tries to override your capacity for
TZ. They're kind of a good investigation reporting. They do a lot of good investigation. They really get to the details.
reason. It hijacks your desire to be kind, misdirects it to the wrong recipient in the wrong amount, and in so doing harms you and others. Second, always ask, what happens next? Cause and effect is an immutable law. Actions have consequences, sometimes very bad ones. Third, don't be tolerant of all viewpoints. Not everything is as good as everything else. Some ideas are better than others. Some cultures are better than others. Some religions are more peaceful than others. These actions were once the default operating system for nearly everyone born in the West. Now, they are a matter of civilizational survival. The good news is this: suicide is a choice. The West still has time to save itself, but not much. I'm Gad Saad, author of Suicidal Empathy, Dying to Be Kind for Prager University.
I agree.
Thank you for watching this video.
I agree. We don't have much time left. We got to stop it long before they get there. The domain thing. Why aren't they building those like way out where no one is? You know, why aren't they building them there where they're away from human beings? Stuff like that. I understand the data centers for the AI stuff and all that. We want to stay ahead of China and all that. We can't get behind them because whoever has control of that has a lot of power, you know, and we don't want China to have the power. But you don't want to build it on top of people either. So I don't understand why they aren't building it 100 miles from everybody or something, you know? I don't know. Why not Alaska? Good point. Good point. And it would be a lot cooler up there, Marianne. It makes a lot of sense to me. Good idea, Marianne. All right, I'm going to probably be on either 6 or 7. Probably 6, unless someone says the 7's better. Eastern time. All right, so the game plan's 6. All right. The cold weather actually would be better for the data centers because they need a lot of cooling. They need a lot of cooling actually. So that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, God bless everyone. Bye bye. With fiber optics, I can get information down here pretty quick. You know, put in one massive line. You know. All right, take care. God bless.